Warning, the following podcast contains very vague spoilers about all 6 seasons of Lost.
Michael seems like Dad of the Year.
He's not the best, no, but, to be fair, the dude's mum just died, so... Not Michael's mum.
No, yeah.
Michael's partner, who he impregnated to make...
Yeah, I know how it works.
So, episode 1, the pilot, part 1.
What's it called? The pilot? He wasn't in it very much. Oh.
I mean, Kate, she's not missing out on anything, is she? She was going to go to prison anyway, so she's actually having, a whale of a time here. Maybe there are other characters like that.
I mean, I'm guessing everybody's got some kind of baggage back home.
Well, they had it with them on the plane, so...
Oh!
Hello, and welcome to Can't Believe You Haven't Seen, the podcast where we introduce each other to something new, whether it be a film, TV show, or something else. With Daniel.
And Daniel.
This week, I can't believe you haven't seen Lost.
Well, you better believe it, son.
So, I made you, Daniel...
Oh, you just throwing my full name out there.
Well, we're both called Daniel, so... Danny. I made you Danny. No, I made you watch Lost, and I've been begging you to watch Lost for...
Years,
yeah. And this was the only way to make you do it, so...
Yeah, well, congratulations.
Thank you. What are your... What did you like it?
Well, I'm quite annoyed, because you've been hammering on at me now to watch it for ages, and I've always said no. So I'm annoyed at how much I enjoyed it.
Hey.
Because I really wanted to come in and say I hated it, just so I couldn't give you the satisfaction. But yeah, I liked it.
Fuck yeah, I thought you were gonna dislike it just for the fact that I've been wanting you to watch it for so long. But well, that's good. What did you like about it?
Well, let me consult my notes.
Okay.
I thought the opening was pretty strong. Particularly when he wakes up, Jack.
Yeah.
When he wakes up and he goes to the wreckage, there's not like a, or at least for a while, I can't remember, but like there's not like a wide shot or anything to like show you so it just takes you in with him in like this tracking shot. And I thought that was really a good way to open because you're just sort of in it through the eyes of this character. And I thought that was an effective opening, so I was pretty hooked straight away.
Nice. Couldn't agree more. I think it's a pretty solid way to start it out. It's a good, solid 2 episodes to begin with.
3?
3. Well,
yeah,
I meant the pilots.
Okay, that's all right.
Part 1 and 2 of the pilot. It like pretty much establishes like everyone, and there's a lot of people to establish.
There are. It's a good ensemble. I liked it. I liked most of the characters.
Was there anyone you didn't like in particular?
I don't like Charlie very much.
That's interesting, because a lot of people really like Charlie.
But I think that's just because I don't like the actor very much. I don't think he's very good.
Are you basing that off of other things he's been in, or...?
I mean, a little bit, because he's in The Lord of the Rings as well. As Merry, the Hobbit.
Yes.
And I don't like him in that either. I think he's like the worst part of those films.
Wow, harsh.
So, so I already came in sort of thinking that, and then I just didn't think he was very good here either. But...
Yeah.
That's just my personal... Is he like a fan favourite then or something? Or
I'd say so, yeah. I'm trying not to give spoilers, obviously, because...
For me?
For you, yes.
Oh.
Or the viewers at home, maybe they haven't seen it,
That's true.
I mean, are you going to continue watching this, do you think, considering you liked it?
Probably not. Just because I find it really hard to like make that kind of commitment when it's like those types of shows that are all like 45-minute episodes and there's like 25 episodes in one season. It's like I can't I really like find it daunting to try and commit to one of those shows, which is why I don't watch many of them. Like anyway,
that's upsetting to hear.
I'm sorry, but good stuff from what I've seen. Maybe one day.
That's all.
Because I am intrigued as to like how you can drag it out over... How many seasons are there?
6.
Over 6 seasons.
Well, it doesn't feel... It's not dragged out. That I can say that. If anything, it was too short. I would have liked more Lost.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like towards the end it's like, dragged. So stick with it. I know you said you won't, but you should. The music. You're a music man.
Well,
You like music from films and stuff.
yeah. Yes, the man, Michael Giacchino.
Mm-hmm. Never known how to say his name.
I think that's it. It's either Giacchino or Giacchino.
Sounds like a drink.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't make a note of that, but I made a mental note.
Yes.
Because I was like, it's not that good.
Oh, really?
No, yeah.
Wow.
Because I had similar sort of thoughts about, because I didn't pay attention to episodes 2 or 3,
Mm-hmm.
but the first episode was directed by J.J. Abrams.
Yes,
I'm
it
not sure
was.
if he just did the other 2.
I think he did both parts of the pilot. I don't know about 3.
And yeah, so I saw that it was directed by J.J. Abrams, and then the music was by Michael Giacchino. And I just found it interesting because I couldn't tell by listening to the music or sort of watching the episode that they had, like, by watching it, nothing stood out to me as being particularly JJ.
Mm-hmm.
And by listening to the music, it didn't sound like a Michael Giacchino score to my ears.
That's interesting.
So I was pretty underwhelmed by... I wouldn't say I was underwhelmed by the direction, because it wasn't bad or anything, but it's surprising to see that it was directed by J.J. Abrams when there was nothing that I could at least
No
see.
lens flare.
No lens flares. That's it.
Well, I think that the music is actually one of the strongest parts of Lost. I think part 3, one of the better pieces of music comes in when they're all exploring. It's like the exploration theme or something.
The climbing that mountain
Yeah,
bit.
I
I made
really
a
like
note of that, actually.
Please don't tell me you didn't like it, because that is like the best piece of music.
I suppose it's not that I didn't like the music. I found it very not unnecessary, but it didn't fit that moment, because it was quite adventurous and quite sort of epic in scale, and they're sort of all just kind of slowly climbing up this
Yeah.
muddy hill. So that made me laugh. But I mean, I didn't think the music was bad per se, even though I maybe said that a minute ago.
When you get further into the series and you have episodes focused on people, you get their musical motifs shining through, and that's when it really gets good, because then he starts blending the music for different scenes. Definitely one of the better parts of Lost, in my opinion.
Well, I've got no doubt that he has done some good work on it, because he's a very talented composer. But yeah, nothing in these 3 episodes really stood out to me.
Fair enough. What did you make of that guy with the scar over his eye? Pretty cool scar, right?
No, not really.
Okay, I thought it was cool.
It's one of those scars that only people in movies have.
Yeah.
So it just looks really what caused that? How did that happen in a plane crash? I assume it's from the plane. It looked pretty fresh.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. I've written, he seems nice, but I don't trust him.
That's an interesting take. He
And I-
does seem very mysterious.
And I think, not knowing anything about the show,
Mm-hmm.
well, not many things, that I think he might have a split personality or something.
Okay.
Because of his whole... I mean, he's got literally on his face, one side of his face is scarred and the other is not. And then he had that whole speech when he was telling Walt
Yes.
about backgammon, and he had the light piece and the dark piece. And he was saying 2 sides, light and dark, all that. So it wasn't very subtle, if that is the
Mhm.
case, if I'm on the right lines there. But yeah,
That's an interesting theory there.
But it was nice that he made that dog whistle.
Yeah?
So he seems alright.
Well, what do you think of the miracle that happened to him? What do you think that was? Because he told Walt, a miracle happened here.
Is that what he said? A miracle happened here?
Um,
Because we don't see him say it, do we? We see Walt tell his dad, said that a miracle happened. I thought he said a miracle happened to him, as in to Locke.
I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. But yeah, a miracle happened to him, or a miracle happened there.
No thoughts of... Can you let me in on...
Do you want to be let in?
I
That's
mean,
the question.
I don't mind spoilers.
Okay, well,
to
it's
be
revealed
honest.
pretty early on, but when the plane crashed, he was in a wheelchair. And then, because he's paralyzed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and then the plane crashed, and he can walk again.
That's crazy.
What's that all about?
That's weird. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Did you want to find out more by watching more?
Well, now I know.
Oh.
Does he ever... am I wrong then about his personality?
Yeah, you are.
Oh.
But it's interesting.
Oh, well, hey.
I mean, yeah, you are, but in another way. Maybe
Is he the one that
you're not.
becomes a smoke monster?
Well, we've already seen that there is a smoke monster there, though.
Have we?
Well, yeah, because at the end of the first episode, they all look in the jungle, and then they see something breaking down the trees, don't they?
I wondered what that was, but
was
I
the
didn't
smoke.
see any smoke.
You didn't,
Oh,
but the characters
She
did.
said there was smoke.
Yeah.
Kate did at one point, unless she was just talking about the wreckage.
No, someone did mention smoke, despite the fact that there wasn't actually smoke breaking down the trees. But yeah, that is the smoke monster.
I was surprised as well that the polar bear was in it this early, because that's one of the things I hear about Lost when people like to complain about it, saying like, oh, there's a smoke monster and a polar bear and all stuff like that. And so I wasn't expecting all of this stuff to be in like the first couple of episodes, so I was surprised.
Well, it's probably because the people who complain are the people that don't that watch more to find out, because both of those things are explained.
I see I've touched a nerve.
I feel very passionately about Lost.
So that was surprising.
What do you know about it, or what did you know before going into it? What do you think you know?
I mean, only like small details like that. Like they're all trapped on an island because plane crash. There's a polar bear at one point. There's a smoke monster. That's it, really. Actually, now that I think about it, and just like, is it the Bermuda Triangle? Are they in purgatory? Stuff like that. Like just people's, and then apparently the ending is disappointing. But I don't.
You don't know the ending, though.
I don't know the ending.
Okay. Well, it's not disappointing.
Okay.
If you people,
I think you're in the minority.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But people who think it's disappointing, or they think what they think, I won't say what they think because that would ruin the ending. But people that think that didn't watch the ending right, or they didn't understand it right. They misunderstood.
Okay.
And it's quite obvious what the actual ending is, but these people misinterpret the ending.
Okay. Interesting take. I might have to just Google what it is afterwards.
Well, if you're going to just Google it, I might as well tell you now.
Go on then.
So people say that they've all been dead the entire time.
Yeah.
When the plane crashed, they died. No, that's not true.
Okay.
And that's as much as I'll give you, unless you want more.
Go on.
Well, I don't want to explain the entirety of Lost, but they weren't dead the entire time. But people think that because, I mean, it's hard to understand.
Okay.
But if you watch it,
I'll just watch it then.
Yeah, I'm glad I could convince you.
It's alright, we can just focus on what
I
have seen.
Spoilers, by the way, for anyone watching who hasn't seen Lost.
Yeah, well, I mean, it only ended like 10 years ago, so...
True.
All of my notes here are in chronological order, obviously, of how I saw. So, are we going to go through them, or do you just have, like, questions you want to ask, or...
Well, I haven't got much, I'll be honest. I've got a ton of notes. We can go through them episode by episode if you want.
Okay.
Rate the episodes. That would be a fun thing.
Yes.
So the first half of the pilot, the first episode, that's a load of stuff happens. I wrote down little points about what happens, but it'd be pretty boring to read them all. Why did they crash? There you go. There's a question. Or do you think that it's anything other than just like, plane crash? Because he says in the second part, spoilers, that they were like 3 hours off course. They had been travelling in the wrong direction for 3 hours.
Did they say that? Did they say
Yes.
3 hours?
I believe it was 3 hours.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't really have any ideas as to why that happened, but I just the pilot said the first they got lost on like the tracking, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody would be able to see them.
And then they tried to turn around.
And then they were going to Fiji. I remember that. They could turn around to Fiji.
Yeah.
And then they started getting the turbulence. But at what point did they become? Because he says they were 1,000 miles off course.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did that happen?
Well, because they were turning back to go to Fiji, which wasn't their course, I guess. So the point they turned around and started traveling somewhere else. That's when they went off course.
Right.
But they didn't. Nobody knew that because
they were
yeah,
no longer getting picked up by any. Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that would happen.
No.
Do you ever find out why that happened?
Yeah.
Pray tell.
I didn't feel good about ruining this for you, but you said you're not going to watch it. Maybe you'll be more intrigued to watch it, having
Yeah,
knowledge of everything.
I'm not a big spoilers guy, really.
So actually, it's a long story.
Well, give it to me quickly.
Okay. A man, thousands of years of age, brought them to the island because he wanted them to replace him, to look after the island.
That's not the answer I was expecting. Okay. Okay.
Intriguing, right?
Interesting.
What do you make of that?
Yeah. I suppose it's a lot more. How sort of weird does it like, or how? Because it seems quite grounded,
Yes.
to begin with. Other than the fact that all the trees start shaking for some reason.
And there's a polar bear.
Yeah, but like it's still presented in a sort of like kind of grounded kind of way. Like it doesn't seem supernatural or anything like that at the moment, at least. How weird does it get as it goes on?
It's a slow progression from, like, the whole season 1 is pretty grounded, like the first few episodes, and then as it goes into more like season 3, weirder things start happening, but it's never like too crazy. It's like all
It rides the line.
Yeah, it's very almost unbelievable, but also at the same time it's like believable. That's my best.
Wow.
No, I mean, you could see it happening in real life, but at the same time, not really.
Well, no.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, back to the beginning. I found it quite funny. There's a bit that made me. There's quite a few moments that made me laugh out loud.
Okay.
The first one was when, who's he talking to? Like when they're first going through all the wreckage.
Jack.
I think he says to Hurley.
Who?
Jack.
Jack. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like walking away from Hurley, and Hurley's all like, "What's your name?" And then he turns around, and there's just it's like, I don't know. It's just framed in a way, and there's like this pause where you think he's going to say something. Like, there's going to be some kind of weird reveal, which obviously there wouldn't be because the episode's only just started, but there's just this pause, and it just goes, Jack! It just really made me laugh. But I thought it was funny because he was like the only one paying any attention to anything as well. So he was just running around like saving people from like falling wreckage and like
Okay.
just,
Well.
everybody else just seems so useless.
He was the only doctor somehow on the entire flight. I mean, there were 48 survivors, so I guess that's not that unbelievable.
I mean, thank God he was part of the 48, to be honest.
Yeah. Imagine he wasn't.
Oh, the other part was when he made the plane out of the leaf. He's got this.
Oh my,
leaf,
yeah.
and he's got this perfect plane out of the leaf, and he's like saying, "Oh, so this happened. This must have we crashed." And he's got.
It's pretty impressive, though.
But like, why? He could have just had a leaf.
They wouldn't have understood if without that.
Oh, so that was probably the bit that made me laugh the most because it was just perfect. And
I've never thought about that. The bit where Michael says, "I'll go get your dog," right after it stops raining, and then it immediately stops.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think that's it actually. Maybe there wasn't too much that made me laugh, but yeah, it was. Oh no, the logo as well. That makes me laugh.
Ooh, yeah, that's bad.
I thought the one at the beginning was bad, like how it's just this white 3D text on a black background, and it's like doing that weird zoom, or like. But then the logo at the end of the episodes is even worse because it's just this crappy font.
I quite like that.
And just like, no, that was even worse because I literally wrote for my first note for the second episode, that logo is hilarious. That was my first note, and then my last note is, oh shit, that logo is hilarious.
Yeah, the one where it zooms is really bad. I don't know They never fix it in the because it looks like when you get closer to it, it's like flickering. You know, looks like it's rendered wrong.
Well, this is back in 2004, so
Couldn't do text in 2004. Here's a bit of fun trivia for you.
go on.
Jack was actually going to die in the first episode.
Ah, like shocking
Yeah.
style.
He wasn't actually going to be the main protagonist. It was going to be Kate. You know when they look up and they see the pilot in the trees?
Who's going to be Jack?
Yeah,
That would have been quite the twist.
it would have been. But that didn't happen. So,
Well, I think I'm glad about that because I do like him. He's quite a good lead.
yeah.
Um,
I think
yeah, I think that would have been a mistake. I mean, I suppose they would have like reworked some things, but as it stands, he seems to be the most morally conscious person there. So everybody like he's sort of your anchor, you know.
at the moment.
At the moment.
Mhm.
Oh well, you little tease.
Yeah, I don't think it would make much sense as Kate being the lead.
No. It was a very diverse cast of travellers, though.
Yeah, I guess it would be there on a plane.
It would. That's a good excuse to have lots of different people.
Yeah. What do you think about that? The Korean couple not speaking English.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming quite confidently that they can speak English, just because I know I've seen Daniel Day Kim
Hmm.
in so many other things, so I know that he's like,
The actor can speak English, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I assume that they do speak English. Do they?
Well,
Does a miracle happen that they can suddenly speak English?
no, that'd be dumb. Come on. So she can speak English,
Right.
but he doesn't know. And then when he finds out, he starts to learn English, basically.
And does he ever get
It's
to
the
the
very shortened version of it.
Does he ever get to the point where he speaks just like the actor can?
Ish.
Wow.
He gets to a decent point,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was assuming that they could just both speak English, but
Have you ever seen the actor that plays Saeed, like anything else, or have you seen him speak?
don't think so.
Naveen Andrews, I think. Yeah, he's actually British.
Is he?
It's really weird. His voice is completely different. He's Cockney. It's like, you alright?
Does he sound
I'm
just like
Saeed.
that?
Yeah,
Wow.
literally.
Oh, okay. I can't remember what he sounds like in the show now. Does he have an American accent, or has he got like a native accent to wherever he's supposed to be from?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he was probably one of my favourite characters. I like Saeed. I think
Interesting.
I've written in my notes that he was the real MVP.
Yeah.
Because he was...
Unsung hero, Saeed. Because without him, well, not much would change, but, they wouldn't have known to get the transceiver that doesn't work.
Exactly.
If you had to be stuck on a desert island with one of these people,
I wasn't expecting a hypothetical situation. Okay.
who would you choose and why?
Well, it would either be Jack or Saeed. They seem like the most...
Boring. Not them.
Okay. Well...
Got Hurley.
Probably Vincent, then.
Mr. Locke. Aww. Yeah, Vincent's a good guy. He stays throughout the entire thing. So
Does he?
He does.
Wow.
He's in the first and the last episode.
Crazy.
Yeah. He outlives many of the 48 survivors. Spoiler. Do you have any theories on the polar bear?
Well, I need to reevaluate now because of the information you've given me. So there's a man on the island that's 1,000 years old that looks after the island,
Yeah. In a
and he wants...
very dumbed down way.
Okay. And he wants...
He's been there for thousands of years,
Right.
looking after the island, protecting it from threats, but now he's looking for someone to take over.
What's so special about the island?
What is so special about the island?
Why would a polar bear be there? Global warming?
He wanted the polar bear to look after the island. That's a joke. You didn't.
No, I thought it was. Sorry. Forgot to laugh.
It's fine. We'll add it in post.
No, I've got no theories.
Okay, well, guess you won't know them.
Alright, well. What's his name? Walt's dad.
Michael.
Michael. I knew from, I forget who, was it Locke who asks him how old Walt is? No, it was Jack.
No, it was Locke.
Oh, okay. You sure? Doesn't matter. Anyway, I knew when he got asked how old his son was that he was going to get it wrong, and he did.
Oh, aren't you so clever? Oh.
I know. Yeah. Seems like Dad of the Year, right there.
He's not the best, no. But to be fair, the dude's mum just died, so not Michael's mum.
No. Yeah.
Michael's partner, who he impregnated to make.
Yeah, I know how it
works. Yeah. So I mean, was he there before the mother was there, or before the mother died?
Well, you should. I mean, if you're a good father, then you'll know how old your son is. That's all I'm saying.
True. But if you've just been in a plane crash, maybe the age of your son isn't as important.
Wow.
You wouldn't know.
You'd make a great father. That message was pretty creepy. I liked it.
Yeah. The woman, the French woman, Rousseau. What's going on there? Do you think she's still on the island, or do you think she got rescued? Forgot to turn it off.
Did you just say what her name was?
Yeah.
I'm thinking she's probably still there then, because...
No, she said that in the message.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
Well, the fact that you still...
No, she did. She was like, "It is me, Rousseau."
I don't think she did.
They know.
Was that your French accent?
They definitely said, in one of the episodes, they said Rousseau.
All right, well... So the fact that you've taken note of it anyway implies to me that she's probably still there.
Okay,
and I'll find her at some point.
Yeah, she is.
Cool.
What did you think before I said that?
I think I just assumed that. Well, I suppose I didn't think she had become a key player. I didn't think anything of it really. I suppose I didn't think about it. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't think I thought she'd become a key player in the show.
I'm not saying
maybe not a key player, just
she's there.
In fact, I think I probably thought she was dead.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking now. But it's nice to know that she's not.
Well, she might be.
She could be.
She's not.
Whoa.
At this point.
God. But that whole sort of bit, how they built up to that was good. Like when they first get the transceiver working, it's like, yay. And then it's like, but why are we getting feedback? Or let's find who else is broadcasting, and then they, listening to it.
It's a good job they brought Shannon.
I was gonna that whole bit was a bit like because it's like, does anybody here speak French? And it's like, yes, you do. You spent a year in Paris. And she's like, oh, well, give it a go. And then she's like translating it perfectly as she's listening to it.
Well, yeah.
But you got to get it somehow.
If you live somewhere for a year, you can learn the language a little bit.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, I like that whole bit. That was, and I think that's how episode 2 ends, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
in fact, episode 2 ends with Charlie saying, "Guys, where are we?"
Yes.
Yeah. And episode 1 ends with Charlie asking, "How does something like that happen?"
Asking the important questions.
Yeah. Charlie ends both episodes with a question. And then I think episode 3 ends with Jack saying, 3 days ago we all died.
Yes.
But they didn't, so...
The whole thing with Kate is interesting. I say interest, that's not the word I mean. I don't think I like it very much.
Why not?
Just because, I don't buy it.
What part?
Well, that's the thing, because I don't know what she's done yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I don't buy. But I just, yeah. I suppose it's like meant to be surprising, which is why I suppose you're not supposed to think of anything, that she would be the one that was a prisoner.
Yeah.
So that's the point, I guess. But I just, yeah, it's like, it feels a bit like...
You don't think she's a criminal?
You asking me that makes me think maybe she's not.
No, I'm not saying you don't think... I just mean she's not criminal material. Is that what you're trying to say?
I guess. I'm intrigued to know what she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Because she seems alright. She seems like an okay person.
Yeah. Because if she wasn't an okay person, she wouldn't have dragged the guy out of the car.
Exactly. That guy was pretty wholesome.
Yeah.
I liked him. Like someone's just sleeping in your barn, and he just come in.
Here's a job.
Yeah, live with me.
He must have been pretty desperate though.
Well, yeah, and then she's leaving in the middle of the night, and instead of being like, I offered you a place to stay and a job, he's like, oh, I'll drive you in the morning. But I guess that's because he was,
Well, a bit of a snake at the end.
I guess, but he still seemed, I've written here, though, are you legally allowed to drive with one arm?
These are the important questions.
Because that got me. I was like, how would you... I suppose if it was an automatic, but even then...
It's a very weird detail that he has one arm, because it doesn't feel like it's necessary. It doesn't add anything.
I suppose it's just meant to make you feel even worse for the guy.
Yeah, I guess. She rips it off.
Yeah.
When she pulls him out of the car.
That's got to feel pretty hurtful as someone...
Someone ripping your arm off.
But there's just something... I guess it's just... Yeah. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but there's just something about it. I'm just like, I don't like it. I don't buy it.
Well, she's not like a... They haven't said she's a mass murderer.
No, I know.
She might have just, stolen a car.
Is that what she did?
No.
But she's being, hunted across the world.
Well, maybe she didn't do it. Maybe it was a setup. Or maybe she did do it.
Whoa. You've given me a lot to think about. I suppose it's just when a TV show or like a film or something does this thing where they set... I suppose just from what I've seen, it seems inconsistent, because they set up a character a certain way.
Yeah.
And then they reveal that this character is not what you thought. But the reveal goes against what the show has already told you. So it just feels like, just from what I've seen, a misdirect for misdirection's sake.
Okay.
Because you could have just opened with her... I mean, I don't know where you would have fit it in, but you could have opened by giving the audience that knowledge from the beginning, and I don't think it would have changed anything really.
Yeah.
Because it only adds 5 minutes of sort of, if you want to call it tension, I don't really know, where you're thinking oh, was Sawyer this criminal? How strange. And who do these handcuffs belong to? But it doesn't last for very long, because they find the handcuffs, and then about 10 minutes later the show makes you think it's Sawyer, so it's oh, well, what's Sawyer done then? And then not too long after that they reveal that it's Kate, and then Jack finds out that it's Kay anyway, so then... Because I thought, oh, that'll be an interesting secret, that I wonder how that's going to develop, how that's going to cause conflict, but it hasn't really caused much conflict, really, because by the end of episode 3, Jack's just I don't care who you are, we're all dead now. So I feel like it's a missed opportunity, and that's why I feel like it was just a reveal for reveal's sake.
Well, maybe that carries on, throughout the next few episodes, because that's only Jack's opinion. Hurley knows, and he was pretty freaked out, so...
I guess. From where I'm sitting, that's
a fair opinion.
I see it.
Yeah.
But, I appreciate the fact that I've only watched 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So
I think the Kate storyline is an interesting one, and I don't feel like it's... Once you find out what she's done and why she did it, it makes more sense.
Okay. Is Sawyer racist?
In the first episode, yeah. But they don't carry that on.
No, well...
He says he's a bit racist in the first episode, but that's it throughout the entire 6 seasons.
That's strange. But
I'm glad they don't carry it on, because he's one of my favourite characters.
One I've written here for my notes on the last episode, well, this is a very upbeat ending. Because everybody's really happy at the end of episode 3. It's quite strange. And even Sawyer and Saeed have beginning to build a relationship. He throws him that apple.
Oh, yeah.
And he's oh, maybe this guy isn't a terrorist.
It seemed very odd, yeah. After they found out that a woman's been there for 15 years, and they're beginning to think the rescue might not be coming.
But
yeah, they're all so happy.
It was boy reunited with his dog, pregnant woman happy.
Maybe that says a lot, though, that they're happier on the island than they were off the island.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, because from what we've seen so far, which isn't very much, I mean, Kate, she's not missing out on anything, is she? She was going to go to prison anyway, so she's actually having a whale of a time here. Maybe there are other characters like that.
I mean, I'm guessing everybody's got some kind of baggage back home.
Well, they had it with them on the plane, so.
Oh! One of my other theories, which I'm not sure if it makes me like clever if this is correct, because I picked up on it if it's the case. I'm thinking Jack is probably an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well done.
Better than me.
I mean, in the first episode, when he's like, save some for me, when she takes the alcohol,
It's like,
I feel
for the
like it's a bit on the nose. Yeah.
Well, I mean, from the get-go, like, when he like, stands up, like, at the very first part of the episode, he stands up, he, like, checks his wound, I think, then he, like, goes in his pockets and he's got a little bottle of alcohol, so I thought, oh, alcoholic.
Yeah.
And then on the plane, he's, like, fucking
Drinking.
chugging it down.
Yeah.
And the air hostess is, like, slipping him bottles as well. I don't know why she did that. I guess she just found him attractive.
Guess so. It's interesting about that air hostess, because she actually survives the crash.
I didn't see her.
No, because I guess I'm just spoiling the whole thing for you now.
Go on.
I already have. She was in the tail end, which crashed on the other side of the island. So she was in a completely different group of survivors. There's only
that part of the plane that, like, broke off
yes.
while they were in flight?
Yeah.
Wow. People survived that?
Yeah. Not as many.
No.
But yeah, there was another group, and she survives that. And then eventually, when the two groups meet, she just like is pushed off to the side. And eventually, we meet her again in like season 6, and she's joined like a different group. But she's always like a background character, and I feel like that would have been an interesting thing to explore a bit, because she's like a representative of the plane. So you think she'd have some authority over the people, but it's never delved into, which I think is a shame.
That's strange. I was thinking, though, you've confirmed, you've answered a query I had about, because I was just thinking, like, obviously to try and keep shows fresh, you gotta do new things and introduce, new characters, whatever, to the show as they go on.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, well, how are they going to do that with this show? Like, how are they going to contrive a way for, like, new characters to come in? And you've just answered that.
Yeah.
The other half of the plane.
And it's not just that. There's loads of other different groups of characters. So don't worry about that.
Well, I'm not.
Good.
How quickly...
Mm-hmm.
This is my note on episode 1, 2. How quickly do those drugs work?
Those drugs?
Yeah.
Charlie's drugs?
Charlie's drugs. He rubs them on his teeth or in his gums.
Mm-hmm.
And then within seconds, he's, like, doing dopey face.
In the plane?
And when he's on the island, like when he sneaks off to have a...
Well, neither of us have ever taken drugs, so...
That's true.
Well, I mean, what drugs do you wipe on your teeth?
I don't know.
Well,
we're really exposing how boring we are.
Yeah, unless this is all an act to clear us from any drug charges in the future.
Don't say that, because that looks even more suspicious. But yeah, that was... If I knew anything about drugs, I'd say, that's not how drugs work.
Maybe it is.
But who knows? What does Hurley have against fish?
It was a raw fish.
Yeah.
Why would you eat a raw fish?
Well, people do.
Hurley doesn't.
Okay, I guess.
I wouldn't eat that.
But then the pregnant lady ate it. Is that healthy for a pregnant lady? That's probably not a good idea.
Maybe it's extra healthy.
I'm glad that the baby's okay. For now.
For now.
Oh. I like how much people got thrown around when the plane started crashing.
Yeah.
I love how people immediately are just, like, flung against the ceiling.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
The crasher looked alright, especially, like, I was even... I mean, it didn't look, like, perfect, but, like, I think in either the second episode or the third, when you, like, got part of Kate's flashback and you actually see, like, the end of the plane, like, get ripped off, that looked alright.
Yeah. Good.
Considering, like, 2004.
Yeah.
So, well done, Lost.
I think they did a lot of practical effects rather than the alternative, which I can't remember the name of.
Computer-generated imagery.
Yes, they did a lot of practical rather than computer-generated imagery. Including the plane, because they actually got a real, like, big-ass plane. to that beach, and they had real explosions going off, and
Must have been fun to shoot this show, because I saw that it was shot in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Great. You know?
Yeah.
Because it takes a long time to shoot, like, I think network TV, like, that's like this, when you've got that many episodes in a season. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like 6 months of your life. Not your year, sorry.
And your life.
Yeah, just shooting in Hawaii.
That'd be great, though.
Lovely. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And during all the downtime actors apparently have, they can just chill out on the beach.
Yeah.
Get a tan.
That, what was her name? Shannon? I hope she gets better, because she's pretty insufferable at the moment.
Yeah, she is pretty insufferable.
Like, she confused me right from the get-go. Like, there was a bit where her brother was trying to get her to eat, and she was just, like, not eating.
I'll eat on the rescue boat.
Yes, like, just have something to eat now. I don't understand what your problem is.
It's just a chocolate bar. Just eat it. Yeah, she's a bit of a nasty person. She doesn't get much better.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Or maybe she does. Who knows?
Yeah, it was quite interesting to see all these actors that are just from other things that I know. But I guess this might have been like one of the first things they did.
Who did you know already?
Well, Evangeline Lilly. She's
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
the Wasp currently.
Yes.
She was also in The Hobbit.
Was she?
She was. She's an elf.
Oh yeah, because she dated the guy that plays Charlie, who was in The Hobbit also.
No, he was in The Lord of
He
the
was
Rings.
in The Lord of the Rings.
But they dated?
Yeah, they dated for a bit.
That's a pairing that I would not have expected.
No.
But good on them.
Yeah, well, it didn't work out, so...
That's a shame. But then, obviously, yeah, you got Dominic Monaghan.
Mm-hmm. From
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
And The Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Daniel Day-Kim, he's in a lot of things.
Is he in anything good?
Not really. not that I've seen. He was in Hellboy last year, and that wasn't very good.
No.
But he's in, like, Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I've seen him in.
He's got a very small role in Spider-Man 2.
Which Spider-Man 2?
The Tobey Maguire one. Spider-Man 2.
I don't know them.
If I was talking about any of the other
Okay,
Spider-Man
that's
2,
fine. Don't
I would
worry
have
about
said The Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay, well, as we'll find out in the next episode, not a big superhero fan, so... Actually, that's not true.
No, that's not true.
I like Marvel, though.
Well, let's not get into it here. This is not the place. Who else was there? That, I forget, I never picked up on his name, but Shannon's brother.
Boone. Carlisle.
Boone.
Boone.
Boone?
Carlisle.
Like Boone?
Boone. Boone.
Boone.
Boone.
Is that a name?
Yeah. Boone.
He's like in the, I want to say the Vampire Diaries, which I have not watched myself. I mean, I have, but at the behest of my partner. So, yeah, it was just like fun seeing all these people. Like, I know him.
Yeah. Well, you know Sawyer, the guy who's like real badass.
Yes, he annoyed me.
Oh, really?
Just because I found, and again, the first 3 episodes, maybe he gets more interesting. But as it stands at the moment, he just seemed like just those generic, like, cool, like, badass guys. Like, I don't follow the rules. I'm in it for myself, but I've probably got a heart of gold. You know,
Yeah.
like that kind of, like, just that
At the
really
moment, yeah.
standard archetypal, you know, rogue hero at the moment. And so it just annoyed me. I was just like, ugh.
If you watch more, he gets developed a lot more.
Well, that's good.
He's possibly my favourite character. So, what do you think that note that he was reading was?
Was he reading a note?
Yeah, at one point in one of the episodes, I think maybe the first one, he got a piece of paper from his pocket and he sat there and read it.
Oh, I don't recall that at all. I don't think he did
Okay.
much in the first episode, did he? I don't think there's
no.
like 2 shots of him smoking.
Yeah.
So,
He looks very different in the first episode than to the third.
I thought his hair looked really strange in the first episode.
Yeah.
And I was worried that was going to be what his hair looked like. I thought that maybe that was some kind of 2004 fashion. That I was obviously... Because, yeah, I have a certain image of him in my head, like, before. Because he's, like, one of the few characters I knew beforehand.
Yeah.
And so, like, I had an image in my head of the way he looked, and then he had, like, this wild hair in the first episode. I was like, ooh.
He gets better. He's a bit of a dick in the first couple.
Yeah.
He calls Hurley Lardo. She's
Yes. And he keeps referring to Saeed as just different. He called him Abdul at one point.
Yeah,
It's
he
just-
he makes nicknames for everyone. You'll see that,
That's
or you won't. Calls Jack the Doc a lot, or
Makes
just
sense.
Doc. Yeah. Well, you never got around to doing those ratings for each of the episodes.
oh no.
So episode 1, the pilot, part 1.
What's it called? The pilot. He wasn't in it very much. Oh. I'm trying to think. They've kind of blurred together a bit, which makes sense because obviously it's pilot part 1 and 2. So
Yeah.
Well,
I can give you a quick rundown of each episode if you want.
go for it.
So the pilot, part 1, Jack wakes up, goes to the crash site, saves some people. Claire and Hurley talk. Jack gets stitched up by Kate. She tells him that little story. Or he tells her that little story. You remember that?
Oh, I didn't like that bit. I remember that
Why
bit
not?
now. It was like one of those things that I think would only ever happen in a film, or like that didn't happen.
It's a TV series.
I know, but like it was just one of those. It was like that moment in a TV show where somebody just has a story for that exact moment. It's like, this reminds me of that time. This happened in my life.
He's a doctor and he's been stitched up. They make a signal fire. Charlie and Saeed do something. I don't know. Jack, fear story again. Shannon. Marshall scene.
These are some very useful notes.
Thing in trees. That's the smoky thing.
Yeah.
Plane flashback. About to leave. Walking at cockpit. Monster arrives. Oh, running. Someone calls it the smoke.
I have a question.
And then they look for
actually,
Jack.
about
That's episode 1. And now you rate it.
that monster. Sorry, just quickly. Do we know what did that to the pilot yet? Like, was it the polar bear and or the smoke monster, or was it something else?
And they were working in collaboration.
They might be friends.
Yeah, someone said the smoke monster did it to him.
Oh, okay. Is that true though?
Someone said the smoke monster did it to him.
You're very strange about what you don't want to tell me.
I don't want to tell you anything, but yeah, I mean, I guess the smoke monster did it to him.
Okay.
He was thrown up pretty high, so.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I liked the pilot. Do you want me to rate it out of 10?
If you want.
Ooh, I mean, as far as
Well, okay. So in Lost, right? Don't know if you've ever heard of this. There are
the
special.
TV show Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are numbers. There's 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42.
Am I supposed to know what these
No.
numbers mean? Okay.
They're very special numbers. They show up a lot in Lost. For example, it was Oceanic Flight 815.
Okay.
Rate it on the scale of 4 to 42. So 1 out of 6, but you know, from 1 to 6.
Okay. You want me to rate it out of 6?
Well, and then equate that to the number.
Oh boy.
4, 8,
This
15,
is
6.
needlessly complicated. Well, as far as like network TV goes, it was good, I think.
It's better than just network TV, but
Well, no, it is network TV, and
Well.
I'm saying it's better.
okay,
Then-
good. It is.
So, for that reason, I'd put it at like a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, I thought we were
don't-
doing out of 6.
I couldn't remember what. I just don't even want to. So, whatever the equivalent of that is to your strange scale.
7.5. That doesn't go into 6. So would you say 8?
Oh, sure. I'll say 8 out of 10.
And then we'll say 5 out of 6.
Actually, I'm feeling more 7 than 8.
4 out of 6.
Okay.
So that would be 4, 8, 15, 16 out of 42.
Out of 42. That doesn't
is
sound
pretty
very
good.
good. What is this?
Okay, we can just do 1 to 6 for the others.
Oh, God.
Pilot part 2. Quick fire.
Go on.
Oh, you want me to quick fire?
Unless do you want me to do my notes for...
Oh, that would mix it up a bit.
I mean, they're a bit different to yours because obviously I didn't do like a play-by-play. It's me reacting to what happened. So
Okay,
we'll see if we can work out what I was talking about.
that's a fun game.
That logo is hilarious.
The logo, I would assume.
That is a loud fucking ring. It
when
was when
the seatbelt button.
Charlie is tapping his ring on the...
Oh, ring. I thought you said Bing.
Oh, no, ring. Bing. No, ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was like this really annoying stuck sound that they just kept repeating. And it was very annoying. Sawyer is a racist.
Only for one
Should you
episode.
wash in the ocean?
Yeah.
Salt will dry out your skin, won't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got nowhere else to wash.
What's Hurley got against fish?
It's wet and slippery.
I've put DC crossover, boy. Because Walt was reading a DC comic that he found.
That was a DC comic,
It
really?
was, because it was The Flash and Green Lantern.
Have you read that?
No.
But wasn't it in, like, a different language?
What's your point?
How do you know about it if it's a different language, is what I'm saying?
I was
Maybe
looking
they
at
do
the
English
pictures,
copies. Okay,
and it was The Flash and Green Lantern, characters that I recognise.
I got you.
And just so the listeners aren't confused, that's a crossover relating to our next episode, which we'll get to. How fast do those drugs act?
Yes.
Music is a little OTT for people slowly climbing on dirt. Knew he was going to get Walt's age wrong. Sawyer's got a gun because he's cool, but I was saying that like sarcastically. Oh shit, it's the polar bear. Oh no, she's the criminal, what a twist. Eerie message. Oh shit, that logo is hilarious.
Wow.
And
So
those
not
were
much positive in there.
And I guess not. Well, not. I mean, you know, a lot of those aren't like legitimate criticisms. They're just nitpicks that I just amused myself with. I think, from what I can remember, it was pretty on par with the first. So I'd probably just give it another 4 out of 6.
16 out of 42.
Yep.
Nice.
And that, if we're keeping track, that's 32 out of 84.
Nice. And then episode 3, Tabula Rasa.
What does that mean?
It means an absence of preconceived ideas or predetermined goals. A clean slate.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Out of 6. Unless you want me to run down the points real quick again.
Can if you want to.
So Kate,
Might throw in a bit of mine.
dangerous. Then they're camping out. Then Hurley sees Kate's pick. Then Kate has a flashback. And then they arrive back. And Kate tells Jack about the woman. Then Jack loots the plane. Then Kate has another flashback. And then Michael looks for the dog. And then Kate talks. Don't know who to. Sawyer shoots something. And then Mr. Locke gets the dog. Do you know Mr. Locke's first name?
I think I do, but only because of IMDb. Isn't it just John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone says John, though.
Honestly, I think probably... I mean, I don't mean to just say the same thing over and over again, but on par, it was like a solid, consistent 3 episodes.
Lost is very consistent throughout the entire thing.
That's interesting, because a common criticism that I hear is that it's not.
No, I mean, there's one episode in the entire 6 seasons that I don't like, and that is one that...
Do they do a musical episode?
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
No.
Oh. I would have watched that.
No, it's an episode that relates to no... It doesn't take any of the stuff that was before it and develop it, and it doesn't set up anything. It's completely on its own episode that does nothing.
Okay.
Doesn't add anything, doesn't anything. You could take that out and literally nothing would change.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've just was looking over a few more of my notes on episode 3, and there are just a couple more things I want to mention.
Go on then.
One of them is it did feature one of my least favourite tropes in writing, which is people being vague for no reason. And I'm talking, I think, about a guy that's got shrapnel in him that we haven't mentioned at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
Just like not saying, where the fuck is Kate? It's like, where is she? She's dangerous. And it's like, who? Who are you talking about? And I just hate stuff like that. And he was like saying other things like, he's like, Jack saying, Jack is saying, what did she do? And she's like, I want to talk to her. It's like, but what did she do? We might need to know if she's a dangerous person, because you're about to die probably.
But they'll give the plot away too soon.
I know,
We can't know.
And that's fine that you need to keep that concealed. But why it's annoying to me is because, write it better. Don't make characters just annoyingly vague. Write it in a way that it's not annoying. Another part that made me laugh, now that I'm thinking about it, is the fact that Sawyer failed to kill him. He didn't just like shoot him in the head, he shot him in the heart or in the chest,
Yeah.
and has now like just made everything worse.
But don't you think that was pretty wholesome?
What? No.
Because he doesn't know how to kill someone properly. So it's like, nah.
I guess it goes away to telling us something about his character.
Yeah.
That we probably
It's like he was really trying to do the right thing, but ultimately failed.
And I suppose and you know what? I didn't actually think about it that way. I mean, it was still funny because it was just executed in a strange way. But like, no, I didn't think about it like that because it kind of implies as well that, like, you know, from the other episodes, that he's the kind of guy that probably would know how to kill people.
Yeah.
But obviously not.
Something else weird about that I've noticed this time is that Jack said, you know, oh, good job. Now it's going to take hours for him to bleed out. But then
It was going to take days anyway, wasn't it? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. But he's made it worse because now it's more painful. But then Jack goes in there, we don't see anything, and he comes out and the guy's not screaming anymore. So did Jack kill him?
I don't know. Maybe he passed out.
So they just left him there to bleed out?
Oh, I guess. What are you going to do? You know?
Snap his neck.
Oh, okay.
So that's everything that made you laugh?
Yeah.
What about when Kate says, where did the bear come from? And Sawyer says, probably Bear Village.
I did not hear that at all.
Well,
that's awful.
It's funny.
Probably Bear Village. Okay. Wow.
Well, he says it in a sarcastic way, like, oh, I don't know, probably Bear Village.
That is a man that was trying desperately to think of a joke, and he was like, fuck, I've only got 5 seconds. Probably Bear Village.
We've all been there. Okay, so there's nothing else from me?
Yeah, no, yeah, me neither. That's Lost, baby.
So to conclude, you enjoyed it,
I did.
but you wouldn't continue watching it?
Probably not, but I think not it's not the show's fault that I don't want to watch
fault.
it. I guess if that makes you feel better, if you want to blame me, but
yeah.
it's just the commitment. That's what I really struggle with.
You have commitment
with
issues. Okay.
Yes, with these kind of shows, I just think about it and I just think, God, what a drag that I've got to get through all these episodes. Like it
Take
just
it slow.
I just don't want to.
It's fair enough.
I just I have a hard time.
I prefer 20-minute episodes, but I'll make an exception for Lost.
Like, if maybe there was only the one season, like, then I'd be like, yeah, I'll probably keep watching this. But I just think, like, God.
There is only one season.
6 seasons. Okay.
Alright, well, thank you for listening to the first
do we want to...
ever
Sorry.
episode.
Do we want to say next week so that people know what to expect?
I mean, sure. Yeah.
Well,
what would you like me to watch for next week, then? Because the concept of the show, we never explained it, really. I don't feel like...
I was going to mention that earlier, but I didn't want to, like, embarrass you.
Well, you should have. We can do it... How about we do it now and put it in at the beginning through the power of editing?
And then we keep this in.
Yeah, but not the bit where we do it.
No, okay.
Okay, well, I think that about wraps it up then for episode 1.
Yeah, this was not a disaster, I don't think.
No, I think it went pretty well.
Yeah.
So follow us on Twitter at can'tbelieveyhs.
And there's a subreddit? No, there isn't. Imagine if we had a subreddit. Oh.
On the first episode.
Sorry, no, no.
There's no subreddit. Follow our RSS feed.
Oh yeah, do that, because...
Yeah. That'll be a link in the description of this YouTube video you're watching.
Nice.
Yeah. Subscribe to our Patreon. No, just subscribe,
Yeah, no, just,
Yeah. Let us know if you enjoyed it. Let us know any improvements.
Please do, because we don't want this to be a waste of time.
No.
And if anyone is listening, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for making it this far.
Yeah.
Unless you just skip to the end, then you're a fake fan. Just get off the page, to be honest,
But don't though, because we still need those clicks.
Yeah, subscribe.
But are we going to tell them what next week is?
Oh yeah, you should tell me what next week is,
because you don't know.
No, even though we've referenced multiple times what it is in this past episode.
No, we are not recording 2 episodes in one day.
No,
that's not what this is. This is a weekly show.
Yeah.
So for next week, Daniel, I would like you to
Yes.
watch 2013's Man of Steel,
Oh wow.
please. The DC
Okay.
Comics, Warner Brothers picture.
Well, you know what? I haven't seen that film before.
Can't believe you haven't seen it.
Yeah. And I've never had any interest in watching that film. So
Perfect way to start.
absolutely. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, see you next week, and thank you for listening again. And I hope to see you next week.
Yeah. See you next week.